Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Mining Modern. I'm Corbin Hostler, and I'm losing my voice. So I apologize in advance for sounding like this week, but bear with me. I'm getting over being sick. I promise I'm okay. Just losing my voice a little bit. So I'm going to hang in there. You're all going to hang in there. We're going to have a great time with this Elves deck that Aaron Kasner top-8'd Portland with just last week. So that's extremely impressive. The deck performed very well for them, and they had a pretty cool build, and that's why I wanted to highlight it. So it's a black-green version of the deck, but it has Beast Whisperer. You see it right here. Beast Whisperer from Guilds of Ravnica making its way into Modern here in Elves. Pretty excited for this one. I want to try it out in Storm. I'm sorry. I want to try it out in Combo Elves at some point as well, because it is essentially Glimpse of Nature, which is a card that is banned in Modern because it is extremely good. So, yeah. So I actually had, this is the second take at recording this. I actually had a really sweet match going against Storm, and then I got a random blue screen of death from my computer. So that was unfortunate, as is my opponent having Glistener Elf into Blighted Agent on the play here as we missed lane drops. So, I mean, this seems pretty bad for us, right? Yeah, play it all out. I don't think it's going to matter too much here. We're probably just going to die to Blighted Agent in a turn or two. Blighted Agent tends to do that. Our hand would have been probably okay. Our hand was not good against Infect, that's for sure. Our hand was reasonable. I think against some other decks, it was not good against Infect. In fact, our deck as a whole might not be very good against Blighted Agent. I think we're okay against... what am I going to do here? I have to block something, right? I'll throw this one in the way. I have to block something here. We're probably just going to die anyways. I mean, it is Infect. And they do have a Blighted Agent, which is pretty much the most unbeatable card in Modern. In fact, we might just die now. We might just die on turn 3. Well, at least they made it quick, am I right? Excuse me. Well, our opponent just killed us on turn 3. That's Modern after all. Alright. Let's get out of here. Let's get these Assassin trophies in here. The problem is our deck is just not good against Infect, and pretty much nothing we do is going to make it good against Infect. Sad to cut the Beast Whisperers, but that's the way it goes. Damping Spheres don't do much. The Stain the Mines don't do much. The Gusts don't do much. The Rex Sages don't do much. We just don't really have anything going for us here against Storm. We just are against Infect. And the problem, the lead to Stampedes do nothing, and the Surgical Extractions do not very much, but I guess technically more than nothing. So we're going to go ahead and get them in here. I mean, the idea is that we can hit a card out of our opponent's graveyard and maybe get a card out of their hand. Meanwhile, the lead to Stampedes are just not going to do anything at all. I do think I have to keep this hand. It is a one-lander, but you keep one-landers in this deck. That's fine. And it has a little bit of a plan. I mean, we can play the... It's got good cards in it. We're one land away from having a great hand. So, I think it's worth giving it a shot at least. We don't really have sideboard cards that we're looking for, so we may as well keep a high-power hand that is nonetheless risky. Because, like I said, we don't have anything specific that we need to find after sideboarding. Our deck's just not good against Infect. It's just the way it goes. But maybe we'll just get lucky and rip a land off the top here. Well, this could have been a lead to Stampede. It wasn't going to do much. I have no choice here but to just go ahead and play this elf and attack for 1 here. Not exactly what we want, but, you know, hey, not the end of the world either, I suppose. You know, we can untap, we can play an Elvish Archdruid, have plenty of mana after that. If we, let's see what goes on. I mean, our opponent just always has Blighted Agents, we were never going to win anyways, so... Alright, well, we hit a land. That's a start. Alright, what can I do here? I mean, I can just fire off a company if I wanted. I mean, that's the only way I'm playing 2 creatures this turn, so I may as well. We might just die to the Blighted Agent, but we'll see. Yeah, forgive me if I talk a little less this week. I think all of us might be a little happier if I just try to play some good Magic. I mean, I'm never going to stop talking. It's, you know, I don't stare at a computer for, recording content for hours every week to not talk, but I'll try to keep it a little lower since I'm sick. All right, well, the Blighted Agent comes in for 3. We're probably just dead on turn. It is turn 3 again, after all. Oh, just 7? Our opponent only wants to do 7 to us this time? Okay. They get on tap with an unblockable thing, so we're just dead. It's just kind of a silly game, I guess. When Infect has good hands, there's not much you can do. This is what we want, though, I guess. Archdruid. Now we just hope to rip an Assassin's Trophy. I can also surgically extract the Groundswell, which I probably will do. Alright, we have to hope that we can somehow just pop off here and, just deal them 18 with Shaman of the Pack or whatnot, but... Oh, they just have it all. They just have actually everything, so I guess we're just dead? Yeah, rip removal or we die here. That's not removal, so... it should be game. They get to rebound this Distortion Strike next turn. It makes this creature even more unblockable. The problem is that it's going to make it a 2-1. This gives it 3 power, and we die because there's no way I can deal my opponent enough damage here, I don't believe. I can attack for 2, put him down to 12. And play the Dwynen's Elite, and then play the Shaman of the Pack. And deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to them. So if we had had the Archdruid in play, I think we might have actually been able to win, to be honest. We would have been able to attack. Let's say the first thing we did was just attack for 6, put them to 8. Then we play the Dwynen's Elite. Then we have 6 Elves, 7. Oh, we actually would have left our opponent at 1. We might have had enough mana, though, to play the Archdruid into the Shaman of the Pack. Regardless, it doesn't matter. Our opponent had the perfect hand, so we have died. But that's the way it goes. This deck is built for grinding. You can build Elves a lot of different ways. This one's built for grinding out magics. It is not built for comboing out Infect players who kill you on turn 3. But that's the way it goes. Nice game. All right, everybody, here we go. We're going to give this another shot. It did not work out quite so well last time. But you know what? This hand looks pretty good. Elvish Archdruid into Dwynen's Elite into Elvish... I'm sorry. Heritage Druid into Dwynen's Elite into Elvish Archdruid all on turn 2. Then refilling our hand with Lead the Stampede or just casting Collected Company. If our opponent is playing any sort of a fair deck, we have a very good hand here. And even against something like Bogles, we might actually have a fast enough hand to get there. I'm sorry, I know it's like listening to a bad microphone. My voice just cuts out at the end every time, but I promise I'm doing my best here, everybody. I felt bad. I was sick, last week when I needed to record, and I put it off, and I just wasn't there. And that's the reason that last week's Mighty Modern videos were a little late. So apologies for that. I'm not missing this week, though. These are going up on time, so I am... hell or high water or illness, I'm recording, and that's what we got with Elves here. Or blue screens of death that take out great matches I had going against Storm. I killed him on turn 4 in game 1. They had some crazy convoluted turn on game 2 that I think was about to end with them not getting there and us winning the game. And I literally think that I won the game while I blue screened of death and my opponent quit because it was not up when I came back to Magic Online. But the video, I can't even show you half the video because the file was corrupted from the crash. So, yeah, sad day. But our opponent missing a land drop. That's a little karma coming back our way, right? That's how it works. Oh, they're going to path us. But they got greedy, and they're going to path us in our upkeep, and I'm going to punish them extraordinarily hard here by casting Collected Company with this mana. Oh my gosh, look at this hand. Okay, well, it's probably just Shaman of the Pack and Azuri. I guess that's that's just almost definitely what we want here. Alternatively, I could get a Dwynen's Elite and the Shaman of the Pack to deal 1 more damage. But I think we just want Azuri and Shaman here. Shaman of the Pack just so much damage. It's so good. It's just so good. Look at that. Just going to 6 our opponent here in our upkeep in response to their path, which is now going to go get us a land. Do I have lethal? 6 and 5, 11. We actually just almost had lethal there, I think. We could have... I mean, our opponent was definitely dead regardless, but we could have... Let's see here. could have played a land. Oh, I guess we actually would have come in to play tapped. What were we? We don't know what we're going to draw. Well, we were going to hit whatever. We don't know. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, we could have tapped the Heritage Druid. Really, if we'd hit a 1-drop, right? If we'd hit a land or Elves or something, played it, tap it, the Azuri, and the Shaman of the pack to for 3 mana, 4/5 from here. We might. I don't know. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop and just play the next game. Okay. Well, this is the absolute beauty of our sideboard here. We are set up against Bogles. That is for sure. I don't think I need... I think a lot of this is cuttable. We'll put the Assassin's Trophies in. I actually probably want the Elves of Deep Shadow here. They add black mana, which is pretty nice. So I'm going to just go ahead and cut a Mystic and a Llanowar Elf, I think. Alright, so I do think I'm going to have to cut the other Beast Whisperer here. The Lead the Stampedes are all good. I mean, honestly, the Beast Whisperer is good too, is the thing. But something's not good. Clan Callers are medium. Hard to say. I just want to cast... I won't lie. All I want to do is cast Fracturing Gust, and my opponent's fully loaded up Boggle in the middle of combat. That's all I want. I am just going to cut the Beast Whisperer, though, and probably another Lead the Stampede. You know, we have... Our deck... We want to draw cards. We want to find more creatures because our creatures like Rex Sage are good against them. But I can also just, you know, have the nuts every time like this hand. Look at this. This is incredible. Please don't blue screen me this time, computer. That's all I ask. So I'm going to go ahead and, yep, just play the Elves on turn 1 here. Play the Jordan's Elite on turn 2. Actually, I want the Heritage Druid on turn 1. I guess it's all the same. Maybe it's not the same. Maybe I go Llanowar Elves. This hand is going to be sick, that's for sure. See what our opponent's up to. We have the first enchantment covered at least, or the Daybreak Coronet, whichever we end up needing to get here. I don't know if I'm going to get the Fracturing Gust I wanted, but I am most certainly going to have a very good, very strong hand against our opponent. Who mulliganed also, I think. Yeah, I think they actually mulliganed to 6 as well. Now, they do have the Glade Cover Scout on turn 1, so their mulligan was good, and they have their lands this time around. So we've got a game. The problem for them is that my game is going to be very good. All right, well, they've got it all right there. I mean, that's a lot, but the problem for them is I'm going to kill it this turn. I'm going to kill the Ethereal Armor this turn. We're about to just have a crazy hand. We're going to have one of those. We're going to have one of those Elves hands here that is just kind of unreal. The amount of mana you can produce and spend while adding to your board state. Elves does it better than basically any other deck in the format. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start by casting this Heritage Druid here. Now we're going to, yeah, we'll pay a life. That seems fine. I'm going to play Jordan's Elite. It'll make us a token. Now I'm going to tap these 3 creatures for mana. And I'm going to use this 3 mana to play Reclamation Sage and take out the Ethereal Armor. So I will say the game is not actually over. Our opponent had a good hand here. A very good hand, as a matter of fact. And the Spider Ember, if they just load a Daybreak Coronet up onto this thing and crack in there at us, I mean, it's actually really hard to beat. But I do think I needed to hit the Ethereal Armor anyways. And there is the Daybreak Coronet. So, I mean, this is most certainly rough. So it has First Strike, Lifelink, Reach, Vigilance, and Hexproof. What it does not have is Trample. So I will block while I can. Yeah, this game's going to be hard for sure. They had a great hand here, and they had a quick hand. All that said, I still think we're going to be fine. I have access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana right now. How do I want to play this? This is big. This is a big turn. I think I have 6 mana no matter what I do. I don't think I can get 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't. I have 6 no matter what I do. So I think the play is going to be to just play the Archdruid and the Azuri, pass the turn back, hope we don't die, and untap and go from there. We are setting up, by the way, for that big Fracturing Gust play I wanted. Just saying. All right. Azuri, get on in there. Along with the Elvish Archdruid. I mean, this is fine. We're putting a lot onto this collecting company, but we also have this Horizon Canopy we can crack for a card. And, you know, I guess if our opponent doesn't ever give this thing trample, then we can also just block and regenerate our elf with Azuri forever. So, excuse me. If my opponent doesn't have a way to give this thing trample, she can get a lot worse for them. Now, this is a Rancor. Well, then we might be in trouble, but it's just a boggle. So, you know, all in all, I feel okay. I feel like we're going to have opportunities to win this game. I'm gonna have a lot of mana when we untap here. All right, this is a big draw step. Fracturing Gust one time. Clamp Collar, huh? Okay, that's not bad. Honestly, it's not bad at all. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start by. I can't attack. Well, I can't attack yet. I could just overrun. It's not good. It's not enough though. I think the first thing I'm gonna do here is cast this elf because the elf is free. Is that we paid one for it, but we're gonna get it back when we tap the Archdruid or the hair. We have a lot of. The question is, can I Heritage Druid here? And do I want to do that before I just activate the Archdruid? And honestly, I think that I do. So, Heritage Druid tapping the Heritage Druid, the Summoning Sick Land of War Elves, and this token. Maybe I should tap the Azuri. On the Azuri, I don't think I'm attacking with anything. I think this is. I want this to block with. I'm gonna tap the Azuri. This gives me 3 mana. I'm gonna go 4 here. I'm gonna cast the Collected Company. This maximizes the amount of mana we're gonna get off of our Elvish Archdruid here. And this was a bit of a whiff, that's for sure. Certainly have plenty of blockers and plenty of mana, though. We've got that going for us. All right, time to add this mana. 10, that's all. All right, first thing I'm going to do is crack this Horizon Canopy. In case we hit the, yeah, that's what I was worried. That was a downside here, is if we, can I attack? I can activate the Overrun. I may as well, right? I can Overrun twice, actually. This might be pretty good. We have Summoning Sick creatures to do it with. This is actually going to be kind of sick, to be honest. It's a big turn. You know, heck, for all I know, maybe we just had lethal. Maybe I should have just done the math. I don't know. Maybe I could have just overrun twice and it would have been enough. I just assumed it wouldn't, since our opponent has a life-linking blocker and they're at 27. I mean, we would have had to deal 32, so 32 plus the block, so 30. We needed to deal 39 damage to win. I don't think we would have got there. But the nice part is, now we actually kind of have a free couple of attackers here, and they do have trample, so we're going to get in some damage. Game's clearly over next turn. In our favor, we're going to activate the Archdruid for 1 billion and then activate the Azuri multiple times and just overrun them with the entire team to death. You can even activate Clan Caller if we really want. All of which tells me actually that I think I'm just going to attack with 1. I'm just trying to think how we could lose this game right now. It involves my opponent. I don't even think we lose to Rancor, though. That's the thing. Like, it involves their last card being Path, but they would have used it if it was Path. They wouldn't have let us do all this stuff we just did. It would involve Path Rancor, but I guess it could also involve just something Rancor, like, say, Ethereal Armor Rancor on this thing. So I'm actually just going to attack with 1 to hold back the most here, which is going to be 1, 2. So I'll be able to put 6 toughness in front of it. So if they had Ethereal Armor, that would give it +4, 9. The Rancor makes it 11. which would leave us exactly dead if we. Yeah, I'm just gonna attack with one. I'm just trying to think, and this is what you should do in situations like this. It's not about how do I do the coolest thing here, what's it matter? I mean, poking in this 10 damage, poking 10 damage, yeah, right? But that's good because it makes the next turn almost a slam dunk kill no matter what they do. But thinking about ways in which you could lose the game from this point. And I look at this, I'm at 9 life. The only way I lose is if my opponent kills me now. And I think the only way they kill me now is by like an Ethereal Armor plus Rancor to give it trample, attack 4 billion, right? That we don't have that we have one blocker for. Maybe we would have had, maybe, you know, I could have done all kinds of math in this game, but I don't think we needed to. As it is, my opponent comes in with this. If they have removal for, I guess, our Elvish Archer, how crazy we're doing all this on one land, by the way. You know, just you know, just to keep that in mind. But this one seems pretty decided, I think. I didn't get the fracturing guest blowout I wanted, but you know what? This was pretty good too. This was acceptable. Stony Silence, huh? I don't know what they brought Stony Silence in for. They think I had Ether Vials? I don't know. It's not going to work out for them, though. They are quite dead. We could even activate our Clan Caller if we wanted. It's going to be a nice Shaman in the pack, too. This was a sweet game. Elves is a great deck. I love Elves. I really enjoy playing Elves. I won't lie. Well, they do have a path? What's going on here? No way. Okay, they were just bluffing it, I suppose. Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Well, there you go, everybody. Elves taking it down against Bogles. Bogles player had a great hand, too. Great game. Hey, everybody, here we go with some more Elves. So, we're on the draw. I think I have to mulligan this on the draw. It's very close, but I think I mean, this is basically the same hand, but better, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm in. Second Elvish Archdruid, huh? Almost depends entirely on what our opponent's playing as to whether or not this is good. Do we need more mana? Not convinced that we do. Although it is just a Lord, I'm going to keep it. I think it's fine. It's also very good if our opponent has a Bolt or whatever, we can just replay it. But yeah, I mean, we have what we want here, and obviously no idea what we're up against, but we are on the draw, so having the ability to go from 1 to 3 is very important, and obviously having Collected Company is just one of the best cards. Best card in the deck, most likely. Not one of the best cards in Modern anymore, I guess. It's still pretty good. There's so many broken cards in Modern, but, you know, a lot of decks exist, like, say, Banned Spirits, which is one of the top decks, because of Collected Company. It's very, very powerful. Our opponent, though, Zalfur and Void, they say. Okay. I guess we'll see what that means. I mean, I know it's... Okay, that's cool. I'm in. Very fun stuff comes out of Zalfur and Void in Modern. I know that. I don't know what it is yet, but it's going to be neat. Ghost Quarter as well, huh? So they just color us Eldrazi or something? They sure are, because that's an Eldrazi Mimic. Well, if our opponent was going to have the... if they were going to have a colorless Eldrazi deck, which is very explosive, these are the cards we want them to have. Imagine if this had been an Eldrazi Temple and this Mimic hit on turn 1. That would have been much worse. And then, you know, blah, 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 Thought Knots, Smashers. That's what the deck does, and it does it very well. All of that said, it looks like, oh, this is perfect. They actually can dismember our Archdruid. We'll see if they have a follow-up. That's a real question. Oh, they have a 2/2 in this one, huh? Okay. I mean, this seems pretty medium from them, but on the play, it is, you know, pretty reasonable. The question is how much we get beat down next turn. Well, it doesn't change my play any. Just gonna play this Archdruid we kept on top. We have not hit another land, so we are now in a little bit of danger if our opponent, you know, is able to remove this Archdruid or does something crazy like, you know, Reality Smasher hit us for 12. We'd be in a lot of trouble. Fortunately, Matter Reshaper is none of those things, and I will gladly take 5 this turn, fall to 13, leave our opponent on 3 cards in hand, but get you on tap with our mana and start to do some stuff. Maybe. Excuse me. All right, so hitting a land there was actually very important, very big. It means that now I can play this Collected Company before activating my Druid, and in theory, I can use it to cast another company. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do here as we hit 2 more Elves, including one that's going to nail our opponent for 4. For what it's worth, and I'm not doing it in this circumstance because I'm going to pass the turn and then do it at instant speed, but it's worth noting that with that Shaman of the Pack trigger on the stack, I could have Elvish Archdruid for 4 mana because the Shaman was still in play. This would have produced 4 mana, and I could have cast the other company. If you're playing a Court of Calling version, it also means that you can put the Shaman of the Pack trigger on the stack and then use it to tap to convoke out Cord to go get another Shaman of the Pack. All right, so we will respond to our opponent's Thought Knots here with our other company here and see what we do. Yeah, I mean, I can't say these have been the best ever, but they've been fine. They're going to take our Shaman of the Pack here. Yeah, they're still just dead. We're still just going to overrun them to death here. Honestly, this attack's just a mistake anyway. I mean, I don't know if it's a mistake or not. You'd have to do the math, but I do know that I most certainly have lethal when they attack me. So we'll take our 7. We'll go down to 6. We'll just untap, activate our Elvish Archdruid and call it a day. Could also make Ormondal. I do like Ormondal. All right, player winning's elite here, just because, again, it's free. Costs us 2 mana, but we get it back with the Archdruid. What do we got here? 8. Beautiful. Perfect. 9, 10. Just activate Azuri twice. That's all you got to do. Pretty simple game, really, and on to game 2 we go. Just like that. All right. I don't know exactly what we want here. This seems like the exact kind of deck we want the Beast Whisperers against, that's for sure. I'm going to cut a Mana Dork. I'm going to cut a Lead the Stampede. Maybe I can cut some more Mana Dorks here. Maybe I can just be greedy and do that. Maybe not. Maybe I'll cut 1 Beast Whisperer and then 1 more Mana Dork. I think this is fine. Like, I don't feel like we need Surgicals, or I don't feel like we need much in our sideboard, but I like having the Assassin trophies. I like having still these draw effects here, and so I like cutting the Mana Dorks to get them. I mean, we still have a bunch of 1-drop Mana Dorks, and our deck wants a 1-drop, so I think it's fine, but you do have to be careful about cutting too many of them. This seems like the exact kind of deck against which our Beast Whisperer playing comes in very handy, because they want to flood the board with big creatures. Yeah, they can aggro us out, but a lot of times they just are going to play a fair game, which is exactly what we want with Elves. Ship this one, though. And, yeah, we'll keep this one. Our opponent mulliganed as well. Wait, do they... Exile Zone. Are they Serum Powder? Oh, my gosh. They're doing it. I played Colorless Eldrazi on here. It's a fun deck. Go check out the archives if you want to see it. But they're going deep. Look at all of these Serum Powders. So the way this card works, and trust me, I don't blame you for not knowing what it is, but this is funny. I'm going to go ahead and bottom this. Serum Powder. Anytime you could mulligan and it's in your opening hand, you may instead exile all the cards from your hand and draw that many cards. So what it means is our opponent mulled to 6. That hand of 6 had a Serum Powder in it. And hand of 6 wasn't very good, so they took a free mulligan with the Serum Powder by exiling the cards and drawing 6 more. So, oh no, that's good against us. Certainly not unbeatable by any means. In fact, against this particular hand, it's just kind of mediocre, but it is good. Also, this is just bad news for our opponent all around, right? They've already exiled a ton of cards, which sometimes doesn't matter, but I mean, sometimes it does, right? You just exile your good cards. They have this Ratchet Bomb working here. I obviously drew a perfect card off the top of my deck with the Elvish Archdruid. The bad news for our opponent is that thanks to our Llanowar Elves, they can't even blow up the Archdruid on time before I get on tap with it. Honestly, they maybe should just popped the Ratchet Bomb for 1 to kill our Mana Dork. Although this is pretty good as well. They are going to get a hack. I assume to lead the Stampede out of our hand. I mean, that's certainly the best one. That's just going to be tough for them. They're down to one card after this and a mediocre Ratchet Bomb, and I have plenty of gas. I have plenty of mana. Our board is pretty good at dodging Ratchet Bombs. It only deals equal to the number of charge counters on it. And obviously just drawing collected companies, basically like cheating. So, yeah, we got that going for us too. Alright, gonna play Joinance Elite here. This will make us some creatures, which in turn makes us some mana. I'll add 4 mana. I can just instant speed collected company now. Yeah, good enough for me. I'm just going to pass. Rather than give away information now, I mean, I'm not attacking with any... I'm not doing anything this turn, so I may as well pass. It makes my opponent at least think about what they're going to do with this Ratchet Bomb. Now they know we have the Shaman in the pack in hand. They'll probably take it up to 3. I mean, 3 is the most powerful creatures in our deck, but this is just not a great position for them to be in right now. Chalice on 1. Well, now you're talking. That's better. Certainly better. The problem for them is all of these cards are nice, but it's going to turn off some of the cards in our deck. That's going to happen. But, like, we already got value out of our 1-drop. Now we're going to cast this Collected Company. That's going to dodge it. They might be able to turn this collection of stuff. Oh my gosh, double Clan Caller. Okay. This will definitely force them to pop the Ratchet Bomb. Maybe I just get the Land of War Elves. Can I undo that? I cannot. Well, I guess it doesn't matter then. Because we're taking this and forcing our opponent to blow it up. Just do another Collected Company. Easy game, right? Well, I guess I attack. Guess I attack with these 4/4s. And just keep everything else back. This 5/5 as well. Looks good enough for me. We're just under no pressure at all. And the Clan Callers are just another piece of pressure if they try to take the Ratchet Bomb up to 3. Yeah, and this is where my opponent is going to activate the Ratchet Bomb on 2 here, which is very good for them. And in response, I'm going to add a bunch of mana, 6 mana in my pool. Now I'm going to allow the Ratchet Bomb to resolve. So then before damage, I'm going to cast this Collected Company. See if we get 2 more Lords to make this lethal. And only 1. I'll take it. See, this is what I'm talking about. That was our opponent's big play. They even get to take our Land of War Elves out for it. You know, it's nice. It's powerful. It's good. You turned off all my 1-drops with this Chalice of the Void, but you're just so far behind right now that, you know, you're still taking 3. Which I get it. That doesn't mean a ton, but look, we just effortlessly refill our board. We have a billion mana. But honestly, it's not even about the mana. Depending on what we draw, it could be, but yeah, that's just going to do it. There you go. We took it down. You can see what's going to happen there. I mean, I'm just going to untap. I have a bunch of mana. I'm going to draw pretty much an irrelevant card, but pre-combat, I'm just going to play the Shaman of the pack. Yeah, just tap one of these, play the Heritage Druid, then the Shaman of the pack, deal our opponent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm doing my opponent 9 with his Shaman of the pack, put him to 8, and then just attack. It doesn't matter that they have a blocker bigger than my creatures, they're going to die. Elves, everybody. Beast Whisperer Elves taking it down. And again, I mean, we didn't really get a pop off with Beast Whisperer in any of these games the way I wanted. Elves is just a good deck. But I do like the way this deck was built for the GP. Lead the Stampede, Beast Whisperer. The deck is ready to grind through some control in mid-range opponents, exactly like what our opponent was doing here. You know, cutting cord is cutting cord. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, but it definitely helps the deck grind a little better, and this was a lot of fun. Everybody, again, I'm sorry for losing my voice here, being sick. Hopefully next week I'm back to full strength. Or on Friday. Check out my arena videos on Friday, by the way. I believe we should have some more out. I've kicked that off a couple weeks ago. I'm doing a lot of dev from Strictly Better MTG. Budget brews, cheap decks that on arena only have 12 or fewer rares. That's what I'm calling it. 12 rare runs on arena. Really enjoying the series so far. I love arena. I think arena is great. there's a lot of changes coming to Magic next year, and I don't know what they all mean for me. I do coverage. I'm at 15, 20 GPs a year working. I don't know what's going to happen with the arena stuff. I don't know what it means for me. I don't know what it means for Magic, but I do know that I'm pretty excited to see where things go from here. We're an esport now, and for to me that means a lot, and it means a lot to me in a really personal way because to get personal for a second, feel free to turn off the video. There's no more games after this. There's a deck tech, but for me, I work in esports. I work not just in Magic. I know that's what everyone watching this obviously knows me for. You've seen me on coverage or the podcast or any of that stuff. But I used to work as a sports writer. I have a real background outside of this. With a again, I'm air quoting here, real job, because a lot of people don't look at this sort of stuff as real jobs, even though look, I'm sick and I'm at work, right? That's content creation is not easy, and anyone who does it, you should pat them on the back. Not me. Look, I'm one of the lucky ones. The people out there trying to get going on their own who don't have an awesome sponsor like TCGplayer behind them, those people will do a ton of incredible work, and you should go check them out. Not just the biggest channels, go check out the small channels too, find content creators and support them. But, for me, I left the real world to do this, and I've always been in between. I do writing. I write about Overwatch for Blizzard. I have some other stuff. I worked in other games. I've done League of Legends pieces, blah, 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 right? I've had a lot of opportunities in esports, a lot of that being Magic. So it's really exciting for me. It's no longer, well, I do esports over here, and then I have Magic over here, and I'm failing here. Hands all over the place. I'm sorry, but Magic's always been sort of half in, half out, and like to promote itself as an esport. But has it ever really been a part of the scene? Right? It's never quite been Hearthstone in terms of its legitimacy as an esport, and now we're there. Arena is incredible. Arena is great. I'm so excited that we are there, and now the world will be getting to know Magic through Magic Arena as we have this giant prize pool for 2019 and these great, huge tournaments. And it's going to be a lot of really neat stuff, and I think it's going to open a lot of people's eyes to the best game ever made, which is Magic. And I say that no hyperbole. I think it's just the best game ever made. There's a million different ways you can play it. You play with 2 people super competitively, play with 6 people super casually. It's just the best game, and now everyone gets to see that. They get introduced to it in a way that we're not hamstrung by ourselves, and we're not, at the mercy of people saying, hey, you're not a real esport or all that, any of that stuff. We've made it. Magic is here. I'm very excited for the future. Magic Arena is great. So if you like it as well, check out my series on Friday. But again, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I'm Corbin Hostler. I'll see you next time. Hello, everybody. Here's the deck tech for Elves. So forgive me if you're watching this first. Losing my voice, getting over being sick. That's how it goes. I understand. I'm fine. Just losing my voice. But this is Elves with Beast Whisperer, courtesy of Guilds of Ravnica. So Beast Whisperer, not much, right? But hey, it's a 4 mana, 2/3, but it's an elf, so it works very well in this deck. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Now, I really want to try this in a combo elves build in the future, so we'll get to that at some point, I'm sure. But other than that, I think this is an interesting take on elves. This was in the top 8 of Grand Prix Portland by Aaron Kasner. So what I think that it shows is, even in this modern metagame, in this very broken, powerful modern metagame, you can play Beast Whisperer and find success. So, wanted to highlight Elves. Elves is a deck you can build a bunch of different ways, and I like the way this one looks. So, this deck makes a lot of mana. It's a lot of Elvish Mystics, Elves of Deep Shadow. Heritage Shards is the best one. Tap 3 Elves, add 3 mana. Land of War Elves. Great. That's a lot of mana. What are we doing with that? You'll notice we have a bunch of 3-drops off of these because we want to go from 1 to 3. We have Elvish Archdruid. Pumps the team, makes a bunch more mana. Lead the Stampede. Now, this is the big one here. This is the thing I think that sets this deck apart. Is this deck is built to grind. This could be Court of Calling. We could be more of a combo Elves deck. We could have the white version of this. We could do a bunch of different things. But in this metagame, maybe Lead the Stampede is the way to go. It certainly worked for Aaron last week. Azuri, of course, our usual win condition here. But also Shaman in the pack. This thing does a bunch of damage. Shaman in the pack is insane. Dwynen's Elite to round it out with some more Elves. Mana base, pretty much what you expect. Gilt Leaf Palaces is a really cool card. I'm really disappointed that in Ixalan, they did not repeat this cycle just verbatim. Would have been great. But regardless, we can reveal an elf and add black or green mana for the Shaman and the sideboard cards. The Blooming Marsh is the same. Cavern can make black mana. Horizon came to be to draw cards when we needed it, and a Westfell Abbey because, well, Ormondal is pretty good. Making Ormondal is quite a bit of fun. Onto the sideboard. A lot of what you expect. Rex Sage, of course, going to be a staple, but Assassin's Trophy making its way in here. Scavenging News for the Graveyard deck. Stamping Sphere for the Tron decks. And combo if we need it, but this is my favorite anti-combo card for Elves, Stain the Mind. Never would see play in any other deck, but because this deck makes so much mana and has creatures to tap for Convoke, Stain the Mind, where you get to take anything out of their deck, like, say, KCI, is very, very good in this deck. Surgical for more graveyard hate. Revoker, when you need a creature that is a Pithing Needle, and Fracturing Gust of Love, this one's a blowout. Instant speed, destroy all artifacts and enchantments. So, there you go, everybody. This is Elves. Thanks for watching. This is Mighty Modern and Corbin Hostler.